I want you to know what it feels like to keep all of this pain so concealed. Like I want out of this plane, I told my psych, you don't need to, you don't need to. I'm losing patience, living in damnation. I'm dark vibrations, singing incantations. It must sound like I'm mad, I'm never found to be glad. I'm working out of the math, the answer's always been sad, yeah. I'm a zero summation, lost in translation. Here's my resignation, from this life I'm not staying. My whole life's a passing fad. You'll remember the times we had, the times we had, yeah. All these pleasures my brain can't have. I want out, so please don't be sad. Give it up, cause I'm getting out. Don't be sad, you could let it out. All the shit I'm forgetting now. My whole life I've been checking out. All I said, you could send it out. Light it up, now I'm headed out. This is the end of my part now. We will be never apart, no. I'm losing patience, living in damnation. I'm dark vibrations, singing incantations. It must sound like I'm mad, I'm never found to be glad. I'm working out of the math, the answer's always been sad, yeah. Don't leave, I need you with me. Don't die, I need you alive. Don't go, don't leave me alone. You said, yeah. My entire life feels like one big mistake, and all these pills inhibit re-uptake. I can't arrive at any reason to wait. Take it one at a time, only take it one night at a time. And I don't care, cause I don't give a take. From this world so superficial and fake. In all your joys I simply cannot relate. Take it one at a time, only take it one night at a time. I say goodbye, it's getting late now. Please don't cry, you'll know I made it out. Say goodbye before I fade out. Before I fade out, before I fade out. I'm losing patience, living in damnation. I'm dark vibrations, singing incantations. It must sound like I'm mad, I'm never found to be glad. I'm working out of the math, the answer's always been sad, yeah. I'm a zero summation, lost in translation. Here's my resignation, from this life I'm not staying. My whole life's a passing fad. You'll remember the times we had, times we had, yeah. Let it out, all the shit I'm forgetting now. My whole life I've been checking out. All I said, you can send it out. Light it up, now I'm headed out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the zoo. I'm the Rusty Panda, and I am here for you. Today, we've got Jim, the mental health coach, up in the house. Okay, let me make sure that you're loud enough.
Check. Hey, yeah.
Perfect. So, for anyone who's new here or doesn't know the gist, this is WIKI Wednesday, the show where we got a streamer to go 15 things they like, 5 things they don't. We go down the Wikipedia rabbit hole, finding things that match up, and we learn some things, and ultimately, it's super duper fun. So, sit back, relax, let's go. First of all, like I said, how are you? How's everything?
Good, man.
That's good.
I'm glad to be here.
Aw.
It's cool. I don't get to do a lot of stuff like this, or I don't do a lot of stuff like this, so it's cool.
I'm glad.
And like streaming without the pressure. Yeah, streaming without the pressure.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll have people trickle in, and some people might ask questions, but that doesn't mean that we're always going to get to their questions. We try to keep it as for a while. I just didn't even focus on chat at all, and chat got mad, so I was like, all right, I'll focus on chat a little bit more.
Well, I got to be careful because that is what we kind of do this for, is the audience. So, yeah. Sometimes I just get in my own rabbit hole, and I'm like, I forget they asking all these profound questions or comments, and I'm just ignoring them. Not the best.
Oopsies.
Not the best hosting.
Okay, so I have health coaching as the first thing that's up on the screen. I didn't know how best to put health coach, but I think that this is exactly the brand. Is that correct, or would I be looking up something different?
I don't I don't really know. I mean, you can look up mental health coaching. There's a bunch of them out there, and there's some random certifications that you could get to become a mental health coach. But as far as
Yeah.
this is probably your best bet. I mean, this is probably most entails what I do, but instead of just general health, you'd put the word, yeah, like you said, put the word mental in front of it.
Right. Yeah, I was going into it and it was just talking about wellness coaching, the degree to which one feels positive and enthusiastic about life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so the goal of like every mental health coach may be different. There's like mindset coaches, which maybe do a similar thing. I think for me, I simply wanted to be a counselor and didn't think it was necessary or want to go back to school until I started, like, saw a little bit more of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had an undergraduate degree, and I also just went through a wild healing journey where I had to learn all these models of therapy. So I basically just threw out on my social media like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing. If anybody wants to kind of go through the process, I'll do it for free and see if it's supportive." And that was like 7 years ago, and it just kept growing and escalating. And I would take online courses and I would just read books as some things came up, and I had a lot of mentors to guide me through. So it was almost like I was a counselor under supervision. So I always had a lot of resources and just kept growing. And then about 3 years ago, we started our company, and then my business partner knew a lot about marketing. So then it just like really blew up, and now, I mean, it's what I do full time. I make so luckily make a good living, but it's been private learn, man. It's been
Yeah.
independent study. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And Shayna, thank you so much for the follow.
China.
Welcome to the zoo. Sit back, relax, enjoy the bamboo. Welcome on in. So, that's really cool. Like that's like follow your dreams and do what you love and then turning it into a dream in which you love. Like that's a really sweet outcome.
Well, yeah. It's literally, yeah. I mean, it was not like super smooth. Like it wasn't always great. There was definitely times where I was like took a wrong step or didn't do great. Like if I think back to what I was doing in the beginning, I kind of like shudder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then again, like at the foundation of a good coach or counselor, the first step is creating a space where somebody can just express and receiving that without judgment
Yeah.
and caring and really giving a shit, like wanting the best for them.
So, what would be the difference between a psychologist and a therapist and all of that with a health
Mhm.
coach?
So a psychologist has a very special degree. I believe it's a PhD. So to be a psychologist, you have to have a PhD. To be a therapist, you're licensed by the state. So there's regulations and rules and limitations that come with that. And as a coach, it's completely unregulated. So you can choose to get certifications, um, and there's independent companies that can create their own curriculum, but it's not regulated by the government of the state at all. So theoretically, like I a lot of people go to a licensed counselor because the license is like a state vetting to say this person is safe or has met the minimum qualifications. All my clients simply come through content. So I have to create a piece of content that resonates with them enough for them to reach out and then to want to pay private pay to do sessions. And
Right.
so it's we lose a ton of clients who say, "Well, you're not licensed. I'm not going to do that. I want to see a licensed counselor," which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Everybody
Yeah.
has their thing. So yeah, so I imagine then no insurance for you guys, right?
We can't take insurance. Funny enough, you have health coaching up though. There is a certain type of certification you can get as a health coach that there's an insurance code for that. And we've been
Oh.
campaigning for mental health coaches to be covered. I will tell you though, I have a supervisor who is a licensed therapist. And so there's been certain state grants. So, like for example, I had a client who meet met the requirements for a state grant because of how traumatic her childhood was. And they interviewed me, and I wrote them a letter. And because I was under the supervision of a licensed therapist, they paid for her coaching. But that was a state funded thing. So you can get certified as a health coach. There's a insurance code for that. So there's some future in that. And then also with some of these state grants where it's at the discrepancy of like somebody in a local state government, they can these the costs can be covered in certain ways.
Yeah.
That was like a really complicated way to say it. That
No,
felt
I
very
get it.
I don't care. Like, I don't think it. I hate, like, licenses are great. I think people. The bottom line is you want people to feel safe when they're going into something. I can just tell you, I've been to counselors who are licensed who weren't very good, and
Yeah.
I've been to counselors who are licensed who were great, and I've been to who I see is totally unlicensed, totally independent study. Um,
It really is a crapshoot when you go out there. I've been doing therapy since puberty. And
just the way you said that's funny.
because I could be like, oh, that's probably why my mom took me to teen, like I had to do a teen talk in
Yep.
7th grade and in a circle, and that was supposed to be my therapy, but I had no idea. I thought I was hanging with a bunch of friends. So, therapy. So, yes, I agree that I've sat on the couch and they've talked at me and they've talked about their problems.
Dude.
And I was like, am I
It's
the
just
therapist? Like, what is
Dude.
happening?
Dude, when I first started doing this, because I transitioned out of music, I was doing music full time,
Oh.
and I was burnt out. But when I first started doing this, I went to a local meetup here in Nashville. There was some kind of bill that a bunch of therapists were having an open debate. So I was with a bunch of therapists, psychologists, PhDs, master's degrees, and I told them what I do. And this one PhD threw an absolute tantrum, like a child, saying, you thanks a lot for crapping all over what we do and just taking advantage. And she's like throwing, like, kind of like an orangutan when they get mad. And I'm like, dude, you're a PhD. Like, people are trusting their lives with you, and you can't even like control your emotions enough to have a civil conversation. It was crazy, and I see that all the time. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Private pay is cheaper for me than what my dumb insurance covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it is for sure. And then, hey, Chris Cox, welcome on in. L is silent,
Yes.
stands for legendary. Chris has been on the show before.
Nice.
Very cool guy. So, okay, I think that's really awesome. I think that I do want to learn a little more about your music background if you're comfortable talking about it, because I didn't really see anything on here on your list that had to do with coffee.
Sorry, I got you. That's my phone. With music?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm burnt out, man, so I don't do it anymore.
So you're like,
I'm
screw
so
it,
sick
it's
of
not
it.
on my list.
No, man. I should have put things I don't like is the music industry. No. It's hard, and I live with my girl. She's a musician, and she's really trying to get. She's really started to put a concerted effort into like really making something in the music industry, and I'm just like, dude.
Hey,
Yeah.
Davey, welcome on
What do you
in.
want to know?
Uh,
What do you want to know, Rusty?
so Panda.
Oh, Panda. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I do that to. There's another guy that purposely calls me Rusty because he knows it gets on my nerves.
What do you like? Do you want to be called Panda? I
Yeah,
should know that.
please. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Yeah.
Panda and Chris, good to see you as always. Mental health is so important. It's so, so important. Very cool that you do what you do, Jim. Nice to meet you. And Jim was the one who
Thanks, man.
convinced me to invest in myself. Wow. Look at you. All the good comments
awesome.
here.
Beautiful.
But yeah, as far as music, I'm just curious, like, did you play an instrument? Did you do music production? Because I do music production.
Yes.
We just did a song swap that
Nice.
got premiered today.
Dude,
Where
congrats. That's
thanks.
awesome.
Yeah, it was a big feat for me. That's the first most musical thing I've ever done by myself with Ableton. And
Awesome.
yeah, it turned out great. So I was just curious if you did like music production or vocals or whatever, and then we can get off the topic. But I'm just curious I'm curious.
Yeah. It's not a sensitive topic. Like, I'm not
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah, no, it's not like those are the most painful years of my life. And you're twisting a knife. No, it was awesome. I mean, dude, it was awesome. One of the reasons I had to stop is because I get so excited when you're like in the studio and you're producing something, and you just, I don't know, it could be like you have a cool synth part and you add that like kick drum and you're just like,
I am a
yeah,
god.
you know that feeling. So To regulate myself, my emotions, literally, I had to slow down and back away because I would get such highs, and then I would also get so frustrated in the studio if I was like, "This sucks," and I'm sucking everything and piece of shit. They
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah, but no, I did a lot of theater in school, and then I went to college at 18 for a couple years, and I was in like a band in high school, kind of off and on. I play guitar, I sing, and after 2 years of college, I did really well, but I was like, I really want to pursue this band thing, and I'm 20, and it's like the time to do it.
Yeah.
So I left. I moved into a house in residential Connecticut with 4 other guys. Like it was like the 4 of us just like scrubbing and barely getting by in a really nice residential family neighborhood in Connecticut, like suburbia. So our neighbors loved us, but we just went at it. So we would do everything from play like 3 to 4 hour shows, cover shows at bars, and then we'd play like independent shows at local clubs. We would open for like bigger rock acts. But we were grinded, man. We were just the bottom of the barrel. Like
Yeah.
we played hundreds of shows where there's just like a couple of our friends there, and I was doing like acoustic gigs in the corner of like Italian restaurants on the side, playing Neil Diamond and yeah, like just cover and like it was cool and making money, making ends meet. But then the best was I was also working at a local library doing the kids' story hours. So like I would literally go to bed at like 3 in the morning on a Friday, wake up at 7 in the morning on a Saturday, and be reading like little kids' picture books to like parents and their toddlers.
That's
It was a trip. It was
adorable.
a trip.
Yeah, that's the life of a musician is not one to shake.
Dude,
You know,
it's a grind.
it's a grind for sure. And kudos to you for again figuring stuff out. But I imagine that took a while. Like it's when you're
So that
20, you're like completely like life, whatever. I've got the
yeah,
rest of my life ahead of me. And then you turn
totally.
30, and you're like,
I don't care.
shit, I
Yeah.
wasted 10 years.
So that's what I did. So then after a couple of years, we kind of burnt out in the Connecticut, that band. And that was a group of my friends from high school that were years older than me. And I moved to Boston and went back to school. But then I linked up with another band there. I actually linked up with 2 bands. There were 2 major bands. One was like an original kind of rock synth band. It was like, I don't even know how to say it. It was kind of like Maroon 5 meets like a harder Maroon 5,
Okay.
like a riff rock Maroon 5. So people didn't know what the hell to think of it. It was kind of weird, but it was kind of awesome at the same time. And then I joined a Guns N' Roses tribute band on the side too. So we would get dressed up in spandex, and that was where we'd be playing in front of thousands of people sometimes. Like it got to be really big. And then we the original band got a publishing deal, so we made some money. We had some songs and some movies. And we were doing pretty well. And then it just kind of fizzled out. Like we just lost momentum and kind of got burned out. And that's when I moved to Nashville. And when I moved to Nashville, Music City is where I was like, I've had enough. Like I got to tap out. Like and that was about 30 years old. You're right on the money.
Yeah.
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 About 30.
Yeah.
I just burnt out, man.
I get it. Like I
Yeah.
do. I've watched people who it's funny. It's kind of like the people who grind on Twitch, right? They put
Yeah.
themselves in 100% everything. Their livelihood is on it, and then they're burnt out. They get a job at a bar or whatever because they can't do it anymore. And I've seen so many friends go away. Just poof.
They disappear.
Disappear.
Yeah. Or they disappear for like 6 months or 3 months. And you're just like,
No, they're gone.
nuts.
The person who helped create this entire segment, Wiki Wednesday, his name is Tipsy Rue. I give him homage every poster, everything, because it initially was his idea. He has gone away. I haven't. I tried to contact him to be like, hey, I'm helping do your segment, and it's just been nothing, dead air. He doesn't go on Discord anymore. He doesn't watch Twitch anymore. I'm like, man, you had to like really have to grind and then hate everything in order to just poof, but that's what you do. Maybe that's how you have to change your life.
Yeah. Well, like I've played in front of so many empty rooms to so many people. And then I've played in front of full rooms where people didn't care at all. That like it's built such an ease of resistance to like I've learned to just enjoy the thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
So like I can't do a stream unless I'm interested in the content. If I were here like Look at me, which I'm such a look at me dude. Like I fight that every day. So I can have a little bit of that, but I have to be interested in the content. So if nobody's watching, I don't just crumble because
Yeah,
I'm just too sensitive, man.
I'm the
But
same
those
way.
years of doing that is what's helped. Is just helped me get through that and be like, look, man, like sometimes people will be into it, sometimes they won't.
Right.
But I think some people that's really hard.
For sure. And like there's some people that are like, I'm playing to a room to no one, like in Twitch. Now there's nobody here, and
Yeah,
I'm like, but are you enjoying the game that you're playing? Are you enjoying the
right.
music that you're outputting? Because if you enjoy the music, then it's just like you press live anyway. It doesn't even matter who shows up because you're enjoying what you're doing. It's a regular music practice for you. It's a regular video game
Mhm.
day for you. And so
Yeah.
I've always looked at it that way. And, you know, I'm.
What I like about art is if you, and this is like true, the best art is you being the most you. And it doesn't have to be all of you. It could be one side of you that you turn up, but I don't want to come here and see your persona. I want to see a true, authentic part of your personality, which I'm sure the Rusty Panda is, but turned up. And I want to know that every great rap song is just about where they come from. Every great song is about some moment of their life that people can relate to. And it's just like, if you're streaming, don't, don't fake it. Just be as you as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a dork, be a dork. We're all dorks, by the way.
Yeah, I
All of
agree.
us. I don't care how much cool clothes any of us put on, which this is not cool. We're all dorks. Just be the most dorky dork. That the coolest thing you can do is be the dorkiest you that you could be.
Yeah.
Like rock it. Yeah.
You want
Sorry,
to
I'm not
keep your
preaching.
you-ness. You know, you want to be your best you-ness.
Hell yeah. That word sounds. It reminds me of
I
pee.
know, I know.
Doesn't it
That's
get a
why
little
I like
pee?
saying
It's a little
it.
P-S. There's a little bit of pee in there.
That's great. All right, so let's go to the list, the actual list here. The first thing on it, and we are not going to go in order, is Krav
Okay.
Maga. And so you said
Yeah.
that you teach Krav Maga. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I just got my black belt in Krav Maga in
Wow.
December, which is like it's a big look. Like you hear that? It's a big deal in that it was hard, man. And I want the recognition. And I'd prefer to be called Black Belt Jim for the rest of the street. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black belt
Uh,
Jim. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. So just like it says, it's an Israeli martial art. It's a self-defense system that was developed in Israel, which is a combination of like Muay Thai from Thailand, Jiu-Jitsu from Brazil, and then like American, like a bunch of different martial arts mixed together for self-defense.
Hmm.
So the philosophy is we don't take a step back, like attack the attack. So we're never the first to strike, but we're always the last. I'm gonna give you every like meme we have here.
I love
Attack the
it.
attack. We're never the
Yeah,
yeah. So it's once somebody comes at us with something, then we are like all systems go. And what I like about it is it's meant to mimic so say somebody's coming at you with a knife. It's meant to mimic the reflexes when you freak out, but turn it into a defense. So like somebody comes at you with a knife and you're just go like overhand
right.
ah. And so we have a defense where we pop them in the wrist, whatever. But it's meant to use that initial movement
Right.
to maximize its efficiency. Yeah.
That makes
So,
sense.
dude, I'm in Tennessee. Like, I don't know why the hell there's a Krav Maga gym near where I live, but there is. And I wanted to do it, and I started it, and now that's all. Those are my friends. That's my social circle. I met my girlfriend through Krav Maga. I live in this house. This
Because
house is here because I saw her at a Krav class. Yes,
that's
crazy.
amazing.
I don't think about that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So it's kind of like the it's supposed to be like the most aggressive martial art self-defense system out there because again we attack the attack. Like if somebody comes at us, we attack their force with our force, and
How
then the goal is just to get home safe.
how long
Yeah.
have you been doing this?
I want to say 3.5 years. I think I've been teaching for about a year now.
Nice.
Black belt was right in December, so yeah, I mean it's probably a good 3 years. Started during COVID. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what level, not level, but I guess like age group are you coaching?
Adults. Yeah. I mean
Okay.
we do over 14
Okay.
and over. So we have everything from teenagers to senior citizens. I mean, I think the oldest guy there is about 76.
Good
Ken.
for
What up,
him.
Ken? Ken, you watching? Ken's definitely not watching. Ken doesn't know what the hell a Twitch is.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
So 3.5 years to get a black belt for you. Do you think that's fast? Do you think that's slow? Do you think that it doesn't matter?
I think for Krav, like for Krav Maga is different than like a jujitsu, where jujitsu it's like 2 years between each belt promotion.
Okay.
I think for us, I think it's fine. But I think it's like different Krav Maga schools may have different belt cycles, like how long it takes to get your promotion. Ours is, we're in a suburban town. I think part of it is keeping people feeling like in the video game, you feel like you're making progress.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think it's to help people feel like they're making progress, it's a big thing with martial arts. It's like it's expensive. Going there's 160 to $200 a month, and
Oof.
it's hard. It's just hard, but and so you try to make it as fun as possible, which is a ton of fun. We try to make it as safe as possible, but it is physical. Um, and then we try to make it people feel like they're a part of the group as possible to keep them there and to keep them
Right.
training, because the more people that know martial arts in our community, the safer our community is, like straight up, like as corny as that sounds.
No, I think that's 100% true. Okay, let me see if this will actually go here. It's going to be weirdly zoomed in, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
it's going to do it
that's
again.
awesome. What is he doing? Yeah, so he's defending a knife there. His defense is a little different than what we do. See, he would have got shot right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gradually trying to grab the gun. Nice, good. But yeah, I mean, this isn't what our classes look like. Our classes look more like we warm up for 20 minutes. He's not even doing it right, man. I feel like I could give a better demo. You have to fight in the long run. You got to sweep the arm and lean back. Otherwise, you got to get the fire, the muzzle off of you.
I put
Our
this
cat,
on just to
yeah.
irritate you. This is.
Oh, that's
Oh, I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So strikes, karate, and boxing, takedowns as per
Mhm.
judo, aikido, and wrestling.
Yeah.
Groundwork, judo and wrestling, escapes from chokes,
Jiu-jitsu.
judo and wrestling, and then it's called aikido, right? I'm saying it right?
Aikido, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Do you know who Steven Seagal is?
Yes.
The actor? He's like supposed to be famous for being like an Aikido expert.
Interesting. Let me see. Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you like what techniques from Krav are Aikido. I could tell you what's from Jiu-Jitsu, which they didn't write. There's a lot of it. By the way, that beard is brought to you by shoe polish. Like that's just straight shoe.
I
That's
know.
right? All shoe polish, dude. All shoe polish.
All right. Yeah, I can't find anything about karate or anything. I keep typing in keywords. And yeah, my dad used to have a beard that was that thick, and then my grandpa, and then my dad dyed it because it was getting too white, and it looked
Yeah.
exactly like this, like shoe polish. Just friggin'. I was like,
Yeah.
never do that ever again, ever. But
Looks
he
like he's
wanted to
like
dye his hair,
dude. Hey man, you know, we all get one. We all
Right,
get one of those. I feel
right.
like I'll do that someday where I'm like, I look old, I should try this. I was like, I should have known better. What was I doing? What was I doing?
Well, let's go to samurai culture. Samurai. I can't spell samurai. Come on. Oh, it's the first thing. Doi. Okay, so tell me about the samurai.
Well, I've always been interested, and then I think it was probably 2019. I had a client who was taking a family trip to Japan and wanted me to come with them, and they were like client slash kind of like a friend of the family kind of thing. So we got pretty close over the years, and I went to Japan with them for 2 weeks, and I was just blown away. So I've always been semi interested in samurai culture, kind of the idea. I didn't know much about it, and then when I went to experience it more closely, um, yeah, it blew my mind, and so I started reading as much as I could. Book of Five Rings, Akakure, and anything Japanese, um, and also playing Ghost of Tsushima, which really cemented. That's a
Yeah.
samurai
Oh
Grand
yeah.
Theft Auto kind of game. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Open
yeah,
world.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I think what blew my mind the most is I always knew the samurai were kind of the most fierce warriors, a lot of the most honorable, very famous for just being formidable forces and training, nonstop and studying nonstop. It was when I went to some of the samurai houses from back in like, God, 1600s maybe, and they all had these Zen gardens in the middle. And I remember asking the host, like, why do they have Zen? Like, why is this? And they're like, they have to be able to be the most compassionate and the most playful with their kids. Like, this is the code of the samurais. Like, you have to, and also the fiercest warrior, and to be able to control that, to be able to go from playing with your kids to defending your house. And so they would train their mindset and their bodies to reach every dimension and spectrum of emotion.
Wow.
And I just was like that's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, so they would garden, they would, have tea ceremonies, which were very sacred and they were just very honorable. And then they would live by such a strong code that if they lost in battle or shamed themselves, they would honor themselves by disembowelment. And I just was like, I'm not really into the disembowelment thing, but
Right.
just that whole like ability and honor
Yeah.
code was like, yeah. So I try to immerse myself in that and add it into kind of my emotional and mental training, not disemboweling myself, but like,
Right.
yeah,
It's good
but
that you
like just
kept
that,
that one out. I like that you keep
yeah,
reassuring me that
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not something you do.
But just being able to control, I mean, we talk a lot about trauma and stuff on my channel, and trauma creates trauma responses, some of them very extreme, some anger, rage. Like I've had to deal with rage in my life, and being able to control it, but also tap into it, not ignore it like it's not there. It's like having a wild animal that you train and
Yeah.
control. And I just, that resonates with me so loudly.
Yeah, I've never been to Japan. I've always wanted to go. But I love the culture for sure. What other things did you dive into while you were there? Like, I try to absorb as much as I
Yeah.
can when I go places. So, like, what foods,
Yeah.
what things?
Well, just so I can literally remember like half the time they were eating like gas station sandwiches and stuff. But the quality of the food, even like a gas station sandwich, their standards are so much higher. So I remember eating there and I can remember gradually just being like, "Man, I feel so good." It's a lot of broth, really clean noodles, clean flour, things like that. And I remember the first meal I had when I came back to the States. I think it was a pasta meal, and I remember this layer of fog coming back over just my like this brain fog coming
Wow.
back. And it was just food, it was additives, it was the ingredients. So culturally, their food is very clean. I mean, we spent 6, 7 days in Tokyo alone. There's no trash on the streets. There's no garbage cans.
Wow.
You go to the subway, and when the subway car comes, everybody stands in the order that they arrived in a line, orderly going onto the subway, very cordial. The cadence of how they talk is so pleasant. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like they're very enunciated, very energetic, and just friendly and clean.
Wow.
And it's just it's on the bullet train when the train attendant leaves each car, they turn and they bow to the car and then they move slowly. It's just very honorable, very graceful.
Hmm.
It just feels like intentionality. And I know I'm rambling, but the one other thing that stuck out to me, they in their public parks have these really old cedar trees or pine trees,
Oh.
and you'll see they're huge, and they'll have stilts holding up branches with rope around them to get the sunlight. And so they will nurture their trees and make sure they stay alive with organic materials, but they won't just chop them down. They would never do that. So these old trees that are sagging, they lift up and make sure that every branch can get the sunlight that it needs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
right?
cool.
Right?
And don't worry about rambling. This is like your show. Ramble away. Like
Okay.
you are
Just
allowed to
ramble,
talk as much as you
ramble
want.
on.
Yeah, ramble on, ramble, ramble. Um,
Yeah, but it's just like that beautiful marriage of technology and the natural world, I think it got me. It got me.
yeah. And so did you have a guide with you or something or
we did 2 weeks, and we did a bunch of what we call Airbnb has this thing called Airbnb experiences. So it's locals who set up these experiences that you can buy. So we did a bunch of those. I think we did 2 or like we did a 2-day like bus tour up Mount, I believe it's Mount Fuji.
Okay.
It was too foggy to see the mountain. So
Mm.
we kind of mixed it up. Like we had like, and then we did another like 3 or 4 day thing with a guide where we went from town to town and they showed us like the best restaurants and stuff. So it was a cool variety where we got some free time and then some guided time, which I loved. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Good balance of
Yeah.
fun things to do, but also relaxing. You know, because sometimes
Total. Yeah.
vacations can just be like go 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 go, and you're like, did I have a vacation?
Yeah. Yeah. Like too much of like a guided 2 week bus tour is so itinerary and structure that, but then too much of just being in a foreign land where I don't speak the language is like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go watch TV in the hotel because I'm overwhelmed a lot. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a good balance, really, really good balance. Yeah. And I was there with really great people, and they do very well financially. So the hotels were really nice, and the experiences we had, they weren't expensive, but it wasn't like ever like a we need to penny pinch. So we didn't go crazy, but it was also, we
Yeah.
got to have really nice experiences, and I was really lucky.
Yeah. That sounds great. Did you eat food? I need to know about your food experience.
Dude, yeah, man. I'm trying to remember. Like the food over there is so different, but it's a lot of just like meat without sauces. Like so I think they've really focused on hyper focused on like quality ingredients. So like really good meat, really good produce. Obviously, there's rice patties everywhere. So instead of like fields like you have in America, there's rice patties, which is water.
Right.
There's something to just water everywhere. These flowing water everywhere.
Wow.
Um, but it's a lot of broth based meals. So a lot of great, really high quality ramen,
Yeah.
um, really high quality, rice based meals or fried rice. And then we would do like hot pots. So that's like they bring you really great meat. You stick it with a stick and you boil it a little bit in the pot and you put a little bit of like really clean salt on it. And then
Eat
you're
it.
just it's light, man. It's light food. You just feel light, but I don't feel famished. I just felt really clear and good. My brain was so clear.
Wow. And so, did you eat sushi? Do you like sushi?
I'm nothing. I love sushi. I love, yeah. Nothing's really coming to. I'm sure we went to a couple great sushi places, but nothing's really coming to. Nothing sticks out as far as hyper amazing different quality or anything. It was just an overall quality of everything.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, this channel is like a big sushi channel.
I love
Like,
sushi, man.
like
I want to get
this,
sushi right now. I'm gonna
like.
text my girl see if I get some sushi. Can
Man,
you get
I should. I
some
wish I
sushi?
had my phone. I get some Grubhub. Don't tell my husband that he's modding. He'll take me seriously.
We'll send you some sushi. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, see the
we'll get that
dots.
sushi. Yeah, 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 yeah. Not cool, Panda.
um, but yeah, no, I always say sushi is how Galvos and I met. We met at a sushi bar. So
Nice.
that's the channel lore. Um,
What's your go-to for sushi though? Do you mind if I ask you a question? Sorry.
no, ask me all the
Let me
questions you
hear this.
want. I just love salmon. Like, give me raw salmon. I don't care if there's rice on it. I will be a bear and I will literally just drop salmon in my mouth for days. I love rolls. I mean, I do. There are certain rolls that I like where the salmon is raw. The
Mm.
really good ones is a fried Philadelphia roll. So obviously your
Mm.
traditional
With
cream
cream
cheese,
cheese?
yeah, the cream cheese and everything, but
Yeah.
you dip it in there and it's fried, and so the outside has like a really nice texture, and then you've got the inside. So that's a really good
Incredible.
one. What about you? What's your go-to?
That's that's a dangerous question. Um, so like I'm in two schools. It depends. If I want to feel light, I'm doing sashimi. So just anything raw yellowtail, just and with right rice. But if I'm in it, I want rolls, man. I
Yeah.
want rolls. I don't really care what's in it. I want eel sauce. I want a jalapeno in there
Oh
somewhere. I want
God.
spicy mayonnaise. I want
Wasabi.
like the fish food. What is the little fish food crispy thing? Yeah.
Roe.
Yeah. I want just pour it all in. Now, I don't want tempura for some reason. I think it's a little bland for me, but I just I want thick roll. Any roll that feels like thick,
Like a
and I'm like,
spider
like
roll.
hearty. Yeah.
You're just like going
Or
to
like
with the
rainbow
crab, and
roll.
you're just like, can I fit it in
Yeah.
my mouth?
Oh, yeah. And I love, man, I used to have these seaweed snacks from Trader Joe's. It wasn't quite nori. It was like dried seaweed with a little bit of seasoning. But yeah, she said, "Do you want me to go run and get some?"
Oh my God, you
And I
have the
said, "No."
best
I said,
girlfriend
"No."
ever.
I said, "No. I'm kidding." But I regret that. But maybe when we're done here, we'll go grab some sushi because I don't want to be
That's
I
so
don't want to. First,
awesome.
I don't want to bring sushi here and just start chomping, or know that sushi's here and I can't have it because I'll just
Yeah,
be mad the rest of the interview.
that makes sense. I appreciate you thinking of that.
I'm a little mad.
I'm just mad that I'm not having sushi right now. It's so
Oh, look at that plate.
I know.
Oh, no.
Look at it. Look at it. Man, I could eat the shit out of that salmon.
That looks
And
so
that
good.
yellowtail. Man, I
Yellowtail's
eat the
great.
octopus too. I'll eat
I'd
the
eat
squid.
octopus. I like the tuna.
Mhm.
Not too much tuna, but what's the pink one at the top?
This one here?
No, to the left and then up. That one.
This tuna.
What's the one to the right? Oh, that
This
is
one
tuna.
here? I'm not
Yeah.
sure what this one is, but this is
That one?
tuna, this one's
Okay.
yellowtail, and this one's salmon.
And then scallop. Oh.
I didn't realize the scallops. You said scallops. Oh my god. I would eat the shit out of some scallops.
I've never had raw. Have you had raw scallops?
Yes.
I never had. Is it good?
Yes. They're very, very good. And then this is a type of tuna as well, isn't it?
I'm not familiar.
Galvos.
Galvos.
Galvos. What type?
Bring me another plate of sushi, Galvos.
Sushi. What is this fish? I've had it before. We've had it in our sashimi platters. I'll order a sashimi platter, and it doesn't matter if it's like coming to me via Grubhub. Like I will take it. But I think this is a white tuna. But he's probably deep in his game right now. So, it zooms in even further. Look at that. Look at all that fresh fish.
Yeah, I like tuna because if I'm like trying to eat clean, I can kind of just eat my fill and not feel like, and just know it's good proteins, really good fats. It's like so good for you.
Yeah.
Like raw fish is so good for you. It's so good for you.
Eel and eel sauce. Yes.
Yeah, man. And the eel sauce is like, you can't put it, it's not like you're drinking it, so you just douse that in there.
Everything. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
We've reached the point of no return. We have to. All right. So we're gonna stay on the food topic though, but this is the topic of Wiki Wednesday. When I get shouted out in my friend's channel, he goes on about what I do, Wiki Wednesday, and sometimes she argues about pizza. So we're going to get your idea on pizza. I need to know all the things as far as your love for pizza.
So there's really no bad pizza. That being said, there is totally bad pizza.
Okay, thank you.
So I grew up in Connecticut, and if you don't know, the pizza capital of the world is New Haven, Connecticut, where we got Sally's, we got Pepe's, and we got Modern. Now, these are three of the best pizza places in the world, in the universe. And so, my grandmothers lived the next town over. They grew up in New Haven. They moved the next town over. So we were able to get the toppest quality coal-fired pizza.
Yes.
Old school way, and you can't beat it. That being said, I probably eat frozen pizza like 2 to 3 times a week. Because I live in Nashville, and I don't care. It's still great. It's still great.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That's got to be a mood right there.
The mood is I'm hungry and I don't care. It's cheese on bread, and you can't go wrong with it. So
I am so picky. So I grew up in New Jersey.
Okay.
That's my 19 years of
Okay.
growing up. I've lived in New Jersey. I've
Okay.
eaten out of pizzerias and not Domino's. I've
Yep.
survived on
Okay.
giant pies. I mean, no, not just they're pies. That's what they are. And so
Yep.
New York, New Jersey pizzas are by far the best pizza that you could possibly have. The cheese drips perfectly. The crust is crisp, but yet you can fold it and it cracks. I don't even
Yep.
know. I don't know why the rest of the world hasn't caught on to this style of pizza because it's the only pizza that matters.
Man. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. So you grew up. See, I don't think I really grew up eating a lot of that pizza though. So like I had access to it, but it was not the norm for me. So I
Right.
think I got conditioned very differently.
Yeah.
Very differently.
I mean, every Friday night was pizza night.
Oh my god. You had it made. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pizza night. Then if I didn't want pizza, I can get chicken not like chicken nuggets, chicken tenders that were super crispy at the
Mhm.
pizzeria around the corner. We had a bagel place around the corner. Man, New Jersey bagels. I can't even explain to you how good kosher bagels are.
It's that yeah, I'm jealous. I was born in Jersey, but we left when I was like 5, so I don't really remember.
I have to off stream have to figure out where that was. Do you know? Can you just tell me north, south, or central?
I mean, I could tell you the town we live in. We don't live there anymore. We don't
Okay.
have any roots there.
Yeah.
It was right outside of I think it was outside of Dover. Not too far. You know where Dover is or not too let me look at the map.
Dover,
The town I grew
Delaware.
up in no, Dover, Jersey, New Jersey. I was born
Uh,
at Dover Hospital.
Here we got a state map coming up. Hold on. Do do do. Can we just get a map, please?
Morris
Map.
County. So it looks like it's a little west, but kind of central.
Okay. Let's do Dover. That's not going to come up. What? Yeah. So I'm dead center. I'm right here.
Okay.
So.
Monmouth. Okay.
And you
I'm
said
trying to
you
see
were
where in relation to state. I'm trying to see where in Morris County.
Morris County. Okay, so you're up here by
Okay, that was north. Okay.
okay. Yeah, cuz I went to school up at William Patterson, which is up by Union and right by New York City. But then I
Oh yeah,
left to
north. Yeah,
become a Missourian. Why was I
nice.
thinking?
Jersey's cool, man. Like I said, we left when I was 5, so I don't really remember much of it.
That's funny that
And then
you were
going from
born there.
yeah, well, going from Jersey to Connecticut, like nothing. There's nothing really like Connecticut's cool, but nobody's like proud they're from Connecticut. You know what I mean? There's no Connecticut pride. It's like, yeah, there's nothing cool about it. And I didn't even grow up in the rich part of Connecticut too. So people think you get from Connecticut think you're rich. I'm not. I was the poorest kid in my middle class town, which is it's like double whammy. It's like at least let me get some of the benefits.
That's
Nothing.
literally what I was. In my town was super rich and grown up, and then what we had was we called ourselves Tiny Town because we were double wide trailer homes and we just
Right.
barely made the cutoff. And so they called us Tiny Town because of where we lived in the trailer homes. Whatever. We proud of it. We our bus was always rowdy and we always knew that we had each other's back. So poor life.
I like, I don't realize how ingrained kind of the Italian culture. My family was crazy Italian, like super, super Italian. And that's where I got spoiled is like Sunday meals at my grandparents' house were just top of the line, manigot and ravioli and lasagna and everything homemade. And then they'd bring up the roast after that. Then they'd bring out 17 more courses, 18 different desserts, spumani and
Oh
this pie and
man.
that. It's just like that's where I got spoiled. So if I go to an Italian restaurant, I'm screwed. There's nothing is like we went to a really highly rated Italian restaurant last weekend in Nashville. Nothing. It does nothing for me.
Yeah.
It's not even close. It was good, but it's just like it's not the same, man.
There are desserts that I can't eat. My family had an Italian restaurant. And I can't say
No.
what it's called because it's my last name. But
Right.
it was my uncle's restaurant. My grandma and grandpa both worked for him along with my cousin.
No.
And so
That's
my
awesome.
grandma did the desserts and my grandpa did the appetizers. And so when we would go there, we would usually get like a free shrimp cocktail, and the shrimp were jumbo shrimp.
Yeah.
Or we would get ricotta cake. Do you know what ricotta cake is?
Mm.
That
Oh
is,
yeah,
to me,
yeah,
that is one of the most. When I make my bunny cake every Easter, it is a ricotta cake.
hell yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Dude, my grandma would make these pignoles, these pine nut cookies.
oh
So
yes.
it's like almond paste based, and they're not cookies. Like they don't crumble. They're so chewy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just eat the batch, not a few, the
The batch.
batch. You couldn't stop. They were like, it was like this pistachio flavored almond. Oh, so much. And so I made them with her one time, and she just takes the like thing of sugar and she's just pouring it into the just pouring it like same through an hourglass, and time is passing. I'm like, dude, what in the world? As an adult, I'm like, oh, I am gonna get diabetes from this, no doubt. Like, I can't eat this anymore. So I had to chill. I had to chill.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah.
man, Italian cookies where you get the Italian cookie platter. Oh
Oh,
my
forget
god.
it.
So good.
So here's a little fact about me is I don't eat dessert anymore. No cakes, cookies, pies. It's been about 3 years. I
Okay.
do no dessert because I can't stop, man. I can't stop. And it's not really, I'm being a little dramatic. Like, it's not like we need to cry and I have a big problem. But it's like I literally would go through so much of it and feel so crappy. I was like, I'm just done. And I don't miss it at all. But yeah, those are a problem that I
Yeah.
just had to say, I'm done for as long as I possibly can be with all that stuff. Yeah.
When I lost 130 pounds, don't cheer for me. I'm
Whew.
back. I'm back. But when I
Yeah,
lost
cheer for you.
130
That's amazing.
pounds, it was mostly keto intermittent fasting and no sugar intake. So just that's how it
Those
was.
three principles, but those three principles are on the money. It's like that's
Yeah.
even like the keto, just generally trying to watch the carbs or keep it reasonable. Even if
Hmm.
you don't do full keto, just and then the intermittent fasting, taking a break.
Yeah. And
I miss
I'm
how
trying.
good I felt when I was doing that.
Yeah, and I missed how like I got down to a weight that I hadn't been in since like middle school.
Right.
Like it was crazy. And then
Yeah.
it just gradually got back up because I got out of the routine. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay, I should be motivated and I should do this routine. And then the next day I'm like, I should be motivated and do this
Yeah.
routine. And then the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
day, or of course, you
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
about it when you're falling asleep and you're like, tomorrow's going to be a good day. Tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat this shit. And then the next night, you're
Yeah.
like, I mistaked, but tomorrow's going to be a good day.
Dude, I mean, so to help me, because I go through seasons of just eating everything. I think and not I don't mean to turn it to serious, but eating is a huge coping mechanism for me. It always and I grew up that way. And so I went to the 12-step program for eating, which is Overeaters Anonymous. And just to kind of audit, and I thought also as a a mental health practitioner, I should really get versed in the 12 steps. I got a lot of clients who go through them. And it was really helpful to understand just like I really had a problem. Like for real, like some of the, I was worse than a lot of some of the people there with just how I'd gorge or how I just overdo it. And for me, it's just better to abstain from the sugar. And I
Yeah.
still get sugar here and there, like I'll have fruit or I'll have protein bars, but I just have to have that hard cutoff because, it's fine for 6 months until it's a problem again. And then I just feel bad and it creeps up, man. I
Yeah.
don't know about you. Like when you got off track, was it more gradual or was it kind of just one big crash?
No, it was gradual. It was
Yeah.
like I'll have this there, I'll have that there, or whatever, and then it kind of gets gradual, and then you're like, oh, I hate myself and the way I look, and I'm so angry about it, and then the next day it's like, oh, I hate the way I
Yes.
look, and I don't do
Yeah.
anything about it because I like the taste of bread and cake and all the other things that are there, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I just have that like I just have to be careful with things like food spending, even things like sex or like just any of those big dopamine rushes. Because when I get that high, it's so different than the norm for me that I could just go back to seeking that, and that turns into avoidance. But I always feel better when I just, I do that kind of longer term gratification stuff. I
yeah,
think that's why I'm so proud of black belt is because I am just such a ADD, impulsive kid that was one thing that I stuck with, and that's that's hard for me sometimes. Like it's just hard
yeah,
for me to feel kind of proud and like, hey, I stuck it out. It was hard. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
really clear like marker of something. I'm like, okay,
And
Cool.
mania is no joke. Like, that sort of, I went through such a manic state that at 19, they put me in an outpatient.
Mm.
And once they put me on like, what's the big one that is lithium?
Seroquel? Oh, okay. No,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's the lithium is the bigger one. Yeah, that's way
Yeah,
bigger.
yeah. When
Yeah,
they
yeah,
put
yeah.
me on lithium, like I don't remember most of the time because I was in such a fog. Like I had hit such limits and I was just overwhelmed from college and all that stuff. And so after the program and I graduated, I just moved to Missouri because that's the smartest thing you could do after leaving a
Yeah.
program
Yep.
is abandon
Do it.
everything you know and try to start over.
Well, I can't. Are you being facetious?
And I don't know. I don't know if that's the right answer, but that's exactly what I did.
So, listen, I worked in clinical for a while. I worked at a residential treatment facility for youth, so teenagers, so under 18 who I won't say why they were there, but it
Right.
was behavioral needs and mental health issues. And the biggest problem we had was these kids would be great and then they would leave and go back into the situation they were in and just regress right back.
Mhm.
So there's a part of me that thinks that was brilliant. Even that you're brilliant, may not even known it, but it's brilliant to get yourself out of all that stimuli because you had a huge dose of momentum.
Mhm.
And then you're like, okay, starting fresh. You can use that momentum and you're not working against the current of stimuli that'll trigger you in old ways. So
Right.
yeah, I think maybe you accidentally stumbled on some genius there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I moved in with my ex-fiance now. I moved in with my ex-fiance and that was a struggle and blah blah blah, but then we were like on the border of breaking up. And so we
Mhm.
were like, you can see other people, I can see other people, whatever. And that's when the addiction came back. All the
Mm.
addictions. The mania hit hard. And I was like, I was not on any meds or anything like that at that time. And man, I don't know how I didn't end up like on the streets, pregnant and like
Yeah,
dead. Like, I have no idea how I scathed that.
dude, yeah.
So, I'm very happy that I'm medicated now and I'm a little more, but man, I know when the mania hits, when I want to spend money or when I want to go hard, like
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
it. I can recognize it, which is the
How do
first step.
Well, how does it feel with a partner? Like, do you guys openly discuss those urges or those things, or do you kinda keep it? Because I find this is, like, the first I have a hard time with the transparency with that stuff, or, like, being embarrassed of, like even things like it's hard for me not even to embellish, like, how much money I made last year or not and it's way I shouldn't say it's hard, it's way easier now, but that was a huge, huge hurdle for me to walk by. It's just being open about these things and
Right.
not feeling the tidal wave of shame just take me away and either run from the relationship or just shut down totally and start to hide again.
Yeah,
Um,
Galvos knows probably literally everything about me more than some of the things that I know about myself. So we're
I see.
incredibly open about everything
Mhm.
because he's got his own mental health, and so together we kind of work together on who's got what days,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But yeah, I'm an open book, man. I don't shut up.
You'd be like, I'm on Amazon.
Yep.
Help! I'm on Amazon. Help! Take the phone.
Pretty
Get it out
much.
of here.
Pretty
It's happening.
much.
It's happening. By the way, if you did, I still struggle with it though, but I've learned some bumpers. So I have 7 of these jackets in all different colors. I just got another one today. It's right here. I have 7 of these, and I had never a week and a half ago, I had 0. So like I found one, I bought one, I have it, and I'm like, that's my new look. That's what we're doing. But now I'll limit myself to how much I spend. I buy it used. So I put kind of bumpers on it so I can work within that system. And then I work my way into these seasons where then I'm like super disciplined. But the discipline for me is like, I'm like up early, walking. It's routine. I
Yeah.
do really well with hard, clear, crisp boundaries and routine,
Right now, I only
and like
have a
no
nighttime
gray area.
routine. So it's basically, okay, I need to brush my teeth, brush my night guard, go to take my pills, go to bed by 10. Like that's the only
That's
routine
way
that I
more
have.
organized than mine right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, good. Stop bragging.
Sorry. But I
Yeah.
don't wake up early, and I certainly don't walk a dog or anything. So
Yeah. Well, that makes two of us.
yeah,
I create structure. So like I have clients I have to see and I structure that. I have classes I have to teach. Like even with this, it's like perfect. Like what time is it? 7 to blah, perfect. Like
yeah,
my stream is at the same time. So I put in these things that I could not do, but they're structured. And I have like a social accountability. So if I don't show up to stream, I hear about it.
right.
And if I don't show up to class, I let the whole school down. Like,
Hmm.
like there's accountability. If I don't show up to a client session, I mean, shit, I can't eat. Like,
Right.
so there's accountability with everything, but it's always social accountability for me. That's what I leverage is like I'm around people who are loving and who would never be like, you didn't show up, what's wrong with you? But that also I would just feel so guilty if I let
Letting them
down.
down.
And
And
that
that's
helps.
that's why I'm like, can somebody help me be my accountability buddy? Right? And that's I've been
Yeah,
searching for
man.
that because it's easier to let myself down than to let somebody else down. And so I'm
Totally.
like, can anybody be my accountability buddy? And they're like, yeah, I can be it. And then like I don't hear from them, or like I'll try to
There's a
talk to them and it just
yeah.
crashes.
It's but and that's why I'm blessed to have a business partner because he never would ever say to me, "Dude, you're really letting the company down." He's so loving, but I'm so sensitive to want to like help him succeed and help the company that when I don't do something, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Or if I hear him struggling because I didn't do something, I love him so much, I feel so bad. So I leverage guilt.
Yeah. Pretty
Which is
much. Yeah.
fine, for me, but it gets me moving and it gets me in the routine. So once I'm going with stuff, I'm good. It's usually just, pockets of time where maybe I get a little more down or um, starting something new is where I can leverage that structure. It helps.
Motivation is number one of the hardest thing that I could do. Getting to go is harder than
Yeah.
the actual process of going. And I think that's the main thing for me is like I know that I could probably lose the weight, but getting going into that routine or making myself, I don't know, it's always been motivation, literally from point zero.
Well, but see, it's funny because like we had at the end of all our classes we do what we call mat chat, which is kind of like a words of wisdom, and we talked about motivation and how motivation. And I like this analogy. It's kind of like getting into a warm bath. Like it's great when you feel motivated, but the water cools off, and then it feels not as good. And I can't do things on that dopaminergic motivation. That's why I need that guilt leverage for the days I don't want to go, and I could leverage that guilt to say like, are you really going to let your training partner down? Are you going to
Right.
let this guy you love down because he's going to be disappointed? And it's enough to where if I really needed to take a mental health day, it's always nothing but, dude, good for you for taking a day, like lots of encouragement and love.
Right.
But I can leverage my own internal just guilt of like it's just the right recipe for me. So I don't feel motivated a lot of the time. I have to drudge through the drudgery, but it's just that there's something in me that I can leverage for that. And it may not be the healthiest thing, but it works for me now. And I feel like it's the best result I can get with where I'm at now. And it works.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I mean, when you say motivation, like, can you talk about that a little more? Because I'm curious. Like,
This isn't about me. We're supposed to be interviewing you, but yes, we'll do
no,
one
I'm
little piece.
curious.
Okay, so for motivation, like I see my sneakers on the floor. It's really nice out. I should go for a walk, but I'm frozen. I cannot
Interesting.
I cannot put on those shoes. I know what will happen when I put on those shoes. It'll be great. I'll go for a walk. It's really nice outside. Instead, I ordered groceries because going outside and actually shopping was I froze. But
Mhm.
then I was like, well, the grocery store doesn't, Walmart didn't have a few of the things that I need. So hold on, let me drive to Aldi real quick. I drive to Aldi, I pick up a few things, I come back, and I wait for my grocery store order to come in.
Mhm.
Makes no sense.
I'm curious. What happens in that first time when you see the shoes and you freeze? What's happening? What's happening internally? What's happening in your mind? What's happening in your body?
It's just like I don't know. It's like a sense of I could be, but why? I don't know. Like,
Well,
I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. I want to answer your question, but I don't
no,
think
you
I
might not
know.
kn well, you might not know. Like,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know why I don't do half the things that I wanna do. I don't know why when my alarm goes off at 5 AM, why I can't just get up sometimes. I just can't. I don't get up at 5 AM. I watch all these videos, I get all jazzed up about it, but the idea is so different than the reality, and
Yeah.
I don't know because there's a million things that intellectually and emotionally want to be doing and would feel proud of myself, and my life would be better. And I can't. I'm getting emotional thinking about it, but some of them I just can't. And I don't know if I have unrealistic expectations or my body goes into freeze mode, like it's just overwhelming. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but
And
that's exactly
that's
it.
what I it's it but it's so then it starts a spiral for me. So I know like when I get overwhelmed, I tend to shut down and I feel lethargic, I feel tired,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I just can't.
Yep.
And sometimes I need to go to sleep. I need to rest because my body just goes through this like overheating process of shutting down.
Right.
But most of the time I just don't know.
Yep.
And I know I'll be saying in my head, you know, if you just put on those shoes in 15 seconds, you're gonna feel damn good. And sometimes I just can't cross that threshold.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I know. And I would like, that's why I said the motivation. I need the spark under my ass, and I don't. That accountability buddy is so important to me because, again, letting somebody
Right.
else down is harder. It's just finding that person who's, willing to take the plunge with me.
Mhm.
And Galvos and I really are very malleable. It's like, okay, but maybe we'll cave today. Like, we're too
Mm.
close to each other. It just doesn't work.
But that's why I do well with those hard, rock solid boundaries. Like, I don't care. We had a phrase during our training for black belt because it's so ridiculous the training we would do, and it's like a 4.5 to 5 hour test, nonstop, physical, mental, emotional, and the phrase was "Don't be a bee,"
Right.
and I don't like that word. I would never say that to a female,
Right.
but it was to harden ourselves to be like, nobody cares. Like, there's no excuse. You're gonna do those push-ups. You're gonna go out for the. I don't care if you're hacking up phlegm. You're gonna do it.
Right.
And I way overdid it, like way overdid it. But that was the phrase, and there was something empowering about it, which was there was no option not to do it in my mind,
Yep.
and that was just a hard boundary. You've written this out. This is what you're doing, and it had pros and cons, man. There's
Yeah.
pros and cons, but it was very different than kind of the daily the thing that I think I relate to you on, which is like I'll look at the sneakers and I either go into a slight shutdown, slight hypoarousal, or whatever, and just be like, I just can't walk that threshold. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat that threshold.
Yeah. A death nut to be effective, Daisy.
What's a death nut?
Davy. A death nut is basically one of the hottest nuts that you can ever. They're Reaper nuts. It's one of the hottest things you can do, and people usually do them as challenges on Twitch and stuff. They have the
Yeah.
hottest chip. They have the
Yeah.
hottest all that stuff.
I did the hot chip for a stupid charity thing last year.
Yeah, and so Death Note is like you go ahead and eat like the first level, and then you go ahead and eat the second level, and you let them build. So it's not like you just go in for the fifth level and be like, okay, this is a death nut. Like, yeah, if you could survive it, it's a cool achievement. Cool to who? I don't like spicy things. I don't think this is impressive.
Dude, I was hands and knees on the toilet praying I would throw up hours after the chip went in, thinking like, is an alien coming out of me? Like, what's happening? Am I having an alien? I was called an ambulance. It was so bad. And I'm not trying to be a baby about it. I'm a little bit of a baby. I'm a little bit of a baby. But I ate the chip and it was fine for hours. And then it was like, my insides are burning and I'm a volcano. And then it just went away. I drank a little almond milk. I didn't realize what would help it. I had some almond milk and then I was all right. It was
Yeah.
weird.
Oh
It was
my
so
god.
bad.
Yeah, I can't do those challenges. I mean, yeah, I just can't do those challenges. I did a Fortnite challenge, but like that doesn't hurt me, I guess.
What was the challenge?
So I was raising money for this PC that I have right now,
Nice.
and the community funded about 40% of it, 50% of it.
Awesome, man. Good for
And
you.
some of the challenges that I had was that I had to play Fortnite and like an hour and a half of Fortnite. So I get this girl to help me. She was one of the people. Her name is also Panda with two A's. I get her to help me. She's really good at Fortnite, and we win the first game. And I'm like, "Booyah, Kasha! I won the first game, right?" And she's like, "Okay, let's play again." So go ahead. I win the second game. Booyah, Kasha! This is great. Third game. Booyah, Kasha! And I was like, "I'm done. This
Come
is
on, man. You won
no."
3 in a row?
I won 3 in a row.
Dynamite, man. That's
I
awesome.
have clips of it. Like it's so good. But I won't ever play Fortnite again. Like it's just not my jam. I'm going to
Yeah.
leave on that note, like on that high note, and then unless it's like another raise money for something and it's Fortnite, otherwise it takes up too much room on my computer. But yeah, that's
It's
as
so
much
funny.
like Death Nut as I'll do.
When I was single, I started this thing, the 4-hour Fortnite challenge. So every Saturday after like Saturday morning, we have our instructor training. It's kind of a long morning from like 7 a.m. to 11. And then I would just want to veg.
Right.
And so I was like, what's a way I can veg but feel productive? And it was I had a co-streamer and we would do 4 hours. We'd have to get 5 wins and we'd give away a couple $100 and we'd have people just hopping in. So we had to get like a solo win, a duo win, a trio win, and we'd have streamers and chatters hopping in. It was so much fun. And we never did it. Never once. So the fact that you won your first 3 games, I want to say congratulations. And also, you
Screw
don't need
me.
to
Yeah.
brag. Stop bragging. Totally. Totally.
um
So funny.
let's talk about coffee.
Is that on my list?
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's so funny because today, oh yeah. Today, I realized I'm over caffeinating myself. I was nauseous all day yesterday because I drank like 2 to 3 cups of coffee and a Bang energy drink, which is like 300
Yeah.
milligrams, and I was so nauseous. So today, I do love coffee though. I love coffee. I like bulletproof coffee. Do you know what that is?
Is that where you add something to it? What is it?
So you're the keto queen.
Yeah.
So if you ever get into keto, this is what you do. Okay, so Bulletproof is a brand of coffee. It's like super well sourced. It's outrageous. It's like $15 for a pound, whatever.
Right.
I don't have kids yet, so we're doing all right. So we can spend that money when we don't have kids. Like
Right.
it's like
Right.
once the kids come, they can ruin everything. So Bulletproof coffee is you use the Bulletproof coffee, you add ghee, which is clarified butter.
Mm-hmm.
So GHE.
Butter. That's right. Okay. I knew
Yeah,
there was something
and
you
then
added to it.
yeah, a little cacao powder for a little bit of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do cinnamon if you want. And I think there might be something else, but that's keto coffee, they call it, or
Mm-hmm.
bulletproof coffee.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
delicious. Yeah.
Yeah. I have not tried the butter in my coffee because the concept just really is very weird to me.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. But ghee is not it's not like a Land O'Lakes butter. It's
Right.
clarified butter. So it's a little more on the plane of like what's a way to describe it? It's a little bit more like a coconut oil kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice.
Oh yeah, I've done that with coconut oil.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
the
very
only
similar.
reason why I got coconut oil, and that's why
For your
is
coffee?
because for the coffee, I forgot that I did that. Man, it feels I did that back in like 2018, 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably the same time. But I like coffee. I like recently I've been using non-dairy creamers. So that's like it's like because I don't do dessert. So low sugar creamers that taste great are like such a treat. So I do that every morning, but that's why I've been over caffeinated because I'm just like sucking it back because it tastes like a milkshake to me. I'm like,
Right.
oh, this coffee is so good. And then I'm just all
jazzed
jittery and
up.
white. Yeah.
Butter coffee and butter tea is a Himalayan thing to add more umami to your drink, but also because it's a cold place, so the healthy fats are a good idea. The more you know.
Dude, I think healthy fat is like one of the best or is one of the most kept secrets. By the way, for anxiety, scientifically proven one of the best meals you can have for anxiety is a breakfast of just high protein, high fat. So like avocado and eggs or eggs and bacon or sausage and bacon. Like without the carbs, fats are so good for anxiety and for your brain. And people don't think about it. Like that's a kind of a secret.
Mm-hmm.
So good for you. Nuts like almonds. Yeah, that's why the keto and the low carb it's just so good for your body. It just balances your blood sugar, it balances your energy levels, and it helps with mental health so much.
Triple cheeseburger, but no bun, Davey. That's the key.
Yeah, Davey. Yeah, Davey. Get it together, Dave. No, yeah, no bun.
Avocado is the shit. I love it.
I think I had 3 burger patties for breakfast 2 days ago with cheese. So it was a cheeseburger without a bun for breakfast because we had bought like a family pack the night before, and it was delicious and I felt great.
Yeah.
I don't know why my voice got so high. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, so okay, so you like the bang coffee, but okay, go back really quick to when you said you drank so much coffee that you were nauseous because somebody
Yeah, sure.
needs to hear this.
Well, it was the coffee, but then I had a Bang energy drink.
Right, but if you have too
So,
much caffeine,
dude, I was so nauseous
it
yesterday.
makes
It
you
was
super
terrible.
nauseous. Yeah.
It was terrible. And I'd been doing too much caffeine like the weeks before that too, and I feel nauseous. So like I might not feel it when I'm sitting, but I stand up or walk, and my stomach jostles. And it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's bad for your equilibrium to have too much caffeine. It's bad for anxiety in your nervous system too. It was way overstimulating.
That's why either I have coffee or I have a Monster, sugar free. But
That's smart. Yeah,
like one
I
or the
like
other.
those. Yeah, well, that's what I was doing before, and it was working great. And then I moved into this house, and my girlfriend makes coffee every day. It's so hard to say no. And then I got the great creamer, and I was like, "This is so great." And I would drink it too fast, and then I'd need to pick me up. And it's a hard cycle, guys. My life's hard. No, but
My life's
I
so
overdid it.
hard.
But today I didn't overdo it. And what's weird is I seem like I'm all caffeinated right now, like I'm all hyper.
Yeah.
This is the Holy Spirit, I guess.
No, that's good. That's a good
So great.
and we're working off each other clearly. We're both getting really excited about certain things.
More coffee.
No, no
I want some.
coffee.
I want some right now. I want some right now.
I want coffee right
Just kidding.
now. I want pizza right now. I want sushi right now. I want
I know. Stupid water.
So are we talking Woody Allen? Are we talking Woody from Toy Story? Are we
I'm
what
talking
is
to my dog.
Oh, okay. I
He's right
don't
here.
know. It just says Woody.
Yeah, it just says Woody. He's right here. After he got into a dog fight today, so he's a little bloody, but he's just sleeping. Hi, buddy. He's not going to be as vibrant as usual because we had an incident. Yeah, come here. Wanna come here. Yeah, he's pretty out of it.
Aw.
But it's Woody. He's my little buddy. I can't really show him on screen better. Maybe I could lower this.
There you go.
You see him better?
Yeah, hold on. I can just do this.
I have a light too. Hold on, let me shine a little light on him.
Shine a light on him.
It's not working.
It's okay. You can see him.
Yeah, he's Woody. He's a rescue. He's a sweet boy. He's very playful. His tail is a whip. It's always wagging, and he's probably one of my favorite things in the world.
Woody.
There he is. He's very sweet. Hi, buddy. So he's a mascot on the stream. I mean, he's always on the stream.
Right.
He's a really good dog.
Good
Hi,
dog.
buddy. Did you get your butt kicked today? Yeah.
Oh.
So that's Woody. Well, that's Woody, and he's named after Woody Harrelson, the actor
Okay.
from True Detective. I don't know if you've ever seen True Detective, season 1. Woody Harrelson, Matthew McConaughey. Great show.
Right,
Why is it?
All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You've been to the channel. You've heard him redeem that. I get that as a redeem. Yeah.
I do Huel shakes in the morning. I mix some instant coffee into the chocolate powder. It's like drinking dessert, but it's a 400-calorie meal.
Huel, I hear, is a really great company. I haven't used any of their stuff. Supplement company, right?
I think so.
I wouldn't know. But that's what.
Yeah. So yeah, I drink usually dark roast. And then I have the creamer that I have is I'll either use an Atkins drink that's coffee. It's like a coffee Atkins drink.
Nice.
To mix in with my coffee, or I'll go the bad route and I still have pumpkin spice creamer because it's not bad until May. So I've been milking that creamer from December. Yeah. From December, just making sure it lasts.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, pumpkin spice is the shit. I love it.
It was about 2 weeks ago. I went to Publix, which is like it's like
It's like a
Do you have
ShopRite or like a not
it,
Walmart. It's more Price
little
Chopper.
it's I feel like it's one echelon of more expensive. Maybe I was gonna say better, but then I just realized it's just more expensive
Right.
because it has a lot of the same stuff. But I went through like a smorgasbord of just non-dairy creamers, like a taste test, and found some good ones. But that was like I should have done it. I should just drink my coffee black like I've always done because
Yeah.
that's a dangerous game. It's expensive,
Mm-hmm.
$6, $7 for little creamers, and it's delicious. So it's like I just want more, and then I get all caffeinated, and yeah. So I
Yeah.
made a mistake, and I own it, and I'm rising and overcoming.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start that look at that Huel thing. That sounds really good, and I think that these are all
I don't
good
know. I've heard of
ideas, and
them.
maybe this is my motivation. We'll see. Maybe I'll come out of this tonight and say tomorrow I got this. um, okay, what's up with Adam Lambert's voice?
Dude, he's the best, greatest singer of all time, probably. What do you mean? What do you mean? What's up with it? It's too good. He's too good.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's the second thing I put on the list because I rarely listen to him anymore. I don't know why it was the second thing on the list, but that's what came to mind. It was like, dude, Adam Lambert's voice is the best. So Adam Lambert was one of the early seasons of American Idol. He came in second place.
Hmm.
Comes from a theater background, and then he's just been releasing albums over the years. He tours with Queen, so he takes Freddie Mercury's place and
Wow.
tours with the actual band of Queen, which is no joke. And as far as like, I got into him when I was a singer and I was playing rock music. He could do anything. He has the most unrealistic vocal range you've ever heard. And his performances are just, I've never heard him be off pitch. I've never heard him struggle. He's just unbelievable
Wow.
with feeling. So low dynamics, quiet songs, large dynamics, screaming rock songs. I mean, it's just, I think he's the best. And that's, look, nobody really, he's not super famous. I mean, he's famous enough, but he's not like the status quo. I just think he's the best ever in the history of the world, ever.
Oh, he did the hysterical impressive version of the Muffin Man as Cher, and it went viral. I know exactly who this guy is.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Never
like,
seen it.
"Do you know the Muffin Man?" Like he did this whole thing, and I forget if it was on. I think it was on Jimmy Fallon. But oh my god, so funny, so funny. And I don't meme or I don't like reel or anything like that, but it came up somewhere. My friend's like, you have to watch this, and it was there. It was, but regardless, if he's touring with Queen, obviously he's fantastic. It his
Yeah.
everything. There's just so much he's done. Just like looking at this Wikipedia page.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And like, yeah, he's not one of those like Adele level superstars. He's just underneath that.
yeah.
But he's just, I mean, yeah, man. It yeah. I don't even know what else to say. It's just there's nobody that sings like him. It's so powerful. It's also so tender. It's just every dimension of singing he's just amazing at. And I'm a singer. Like I just yeah,
Damn.
he's amazing.
I need to listen to him more then. I get so
But
wrapped up in my
yeah,
indie culture where like it's a lot of not
yeah, it's very
known.
different.
Yeah.
Not that. Yeah, it's not that at
It's
well,
not
he's
that.
very kind of well, he started with like kind of a rock band, but it was still pretty poppy, and now then it turned into kind of like pretty overproduced, like dance. I don't even say overproduced, just super produced dance music kind
Right.
of stuff, pop music.
Right, right, right.
And the songs are solid, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's so good.
All
It's
right.
just so good. It's almost too good.
It was funny that you said Adam Lambert's voice as if you don't like Adam Lambert.
Well, no, no, he's awesome. No, it's not that. No,
I
no.
love his voice, but man, that guy's an asshole. Okay.
No, he's cool. I mean, I don't agree with everything he says or does, but no, it's just more so his voice is like the pinnacle of singing in my opinion. It's unmatched. I can't think of anybody that can do what he does. And it's funny because I grew up on like grunge rock and metal, and like I mean, look at the guy. Look at his clothes. He is not grunge rock or metal. Like he's
No.
pop. he's like known to just be very like pro LGBT, pride and dance music and things like it's just very the opposite of what I grew up with. And he blows all my favorite singers I grew up with out of the water. Like he could sing all the Metallica or Soundgarden songs and just sound better than I don't want to say better, but just has more ability than them, more
Right.
range, more
Right.
diversity of dynamic. Yeah, I mean it's incredible.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
the more
So
you
take that.
know. I will
Lucy.
definitely look at Adam Lambert's voice, and check it out.
Look at that jacket though. I want that. I'll wear that jacket.
Yeah, that jacket's crazy. Look at that.
Yeah.
The rhinestone
That's
roses.
yeah. Oh, that's the most Adam Lambert jacket I've seen in a long time. And it's not Adam
It's
Lambert, so it's
sad.
perfect.
Yeah. Um. All right. So this. I love that you put this. So this is a dislike. And it's red carpet culture. Is that even on here? Just probably red carpet.
Yeah, man.
Do, 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 do. Would it just be this? Yeah, I guess so. Just a literal red carpet. That's fine. Let's talk about. You mean like the Oscars, right? We could just put Oscars in here. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, and I should say my association or my projection of red carpet culture, or what I've seen when I was in the music industry of like red carpet culture, because I could probably be more specific,
Uh,
but like, yeah,
yeah. No, for me, red carpet culture. I was just talking about this to somebody about. Oh, it was like 3 episodes ago. Goriki was on. He was saying the same thing about hating the Academy Awards and all of that stuff, and that fakeness, and that who picks who's great,
yeah,
and that whole thing. And so I'm curious if that's your viewpoint as well.
yeah, I'm super aligned with that. Yeah, I don't, dude. Will Smith smacked a guy on stage of an award show. Like, how out of control is your ego? And the problem is, I think for me, the problem is I can see a reality where if I could be that, and I don't feel like it's that far off, where I can get that lost or that just diluted or that in my own persona. And like we need people to be inspired by and look up to. But to me, the red carpet culture and getting dressed up and the photos and the pictures and the media and the this, I feel like it creates more comparison and struggle than anything positive. I just do.
Yep. No, I
And like
agree.
I see behind the veil of people. That's what I do for a living, is like I hear their raw feelings, and so much of it is just shame that other people are better than me and other people look better than me, and I have acne or I have cellulite or all these things. And I've seen through my healing journey how I'm way more attracted. And this is not me. This is not some bullshit. This is not some bullshit of like I'm a deep guy. No, truthfully, I am so much more attracted to my girlfriend when she's just at home with her face showing, with no makeup on, with blemishes, with whatever. I'm so much more attracted to that. Now when she puts on makeup, I get more anxious. I get more uncomfortable. And I think that shit just promotes that perfectionist and this and comparison. I don't think it's healthy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that especially, it's funny. They have like football, and then kids are like, "This is a kids thing," and this kids look up to you. And then you have like Academy Awards, and you're like, "Wow, these kids really look up to these actors and actresses," and it's all why? Like
Why?
it just makes them feel worse about themselves. I'll never be. I could never be. I will, never aspire to all these limitations that make you feel like crap. Or I'm going to be better than them. You have the few that stick out that are like, I'm going to show that person up, and good for them, because I'm not like that.
I just know like with even things like bodybuilding, like I've when studying body dysmorphia and learning that it's not just women who are anorexic or bulimic, it's bodybuilders and body dysmorphia. And I feel like that when that campaign came out of like the models taking pictures without makeup on, I'm like, Okay, like cool. But we as people condition our minds. Like we just do. So the normal things that we see, it's just constantly conditioning our mind. So if we normalize natural looking humans, it normalizes us and as it's socially, it socially recalibrates our whole systematic like what's attractive and what goes to our kids and attractive and what they're appealed to. And I just think it's so much healthier to live in reality and find the balance between you express yourself, make art, like do that cool stuff, look how you want to look, like that's cool, but not this just perfectionism. I just think I feel so passionately about it, man, because I struggled with it for years. I hated how I look. I still have to be careful when I look in the mirror with my shirt off, being like, look at that, bro, or just having like a disgust response. It's like that's not healthy.
Right.
It's not a good response, and that's my natural response. It's like I have to work backwards from that to be like, dude, I'm talking to a part of me who's disgusted at myself. Like, shit, man. Like, we
Right.
gotta, we gotta, we gotta, we gotta work this out.
Reevaluate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's a shame. You know what
That's
I mean? Like,
yeah. Shame is like
mm,
pushed into our culture at a very early age.
totally,
Shame of being
totally.
naked. Shame of you know
Yeah,
body fluids. Shame of
yeah.
whatever. And I think that's just crazy.
It's crazy, and it's we elect it, we enforce it. It's not. It'd be like we could in a generation or two remove so much of these norms through just random rules.
Hmm.
And, like, even just, like, man, I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
It's got to start with the kids.
It's gotta start with the adults that influences the
The
kids, but
kids,
of
right?
course, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like my nephews, when they I will never forget this, my brother used to have this thing called naked time, and before they went to bed, he would let them run around ass naked around the house. Yeah, right?
I had that too.
Well, the first thing you do is smile because you know when a kid is just naked and free, they're just, like, dong dangling around and running around and they don't care about you and it's and nobody sees that and doesn't smile.
Right.
Everybody smiles when they see that because you see the freedom.
Yep.
And so I do the same thing. Sometimes I'll just run around the house naked and like I'll be self-conscious, but crossing that threshold of self-conscious is so freeing and it feels so great.
Yeah, when there's no people, or even when Galvos is here, I'm naked. Like putting on clothes is a job for me. I when my mom
I
was
love you
like
said that like
naked,
a matter of fact, like I'm naked. Okay,
I just
duh.
am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
somebody
Uh,
comes to the door, I get on a house dress that's easy to put on and just put right over me. You
yeah.
know, so I get it. My mom did naked baby when I was younger, and we would
Yeah,
participate and just run around the house naked baby, and then
yeah.
we'd have to put on our underwear or whatever. But it's usually right after bath time since you're already naked, and why
Right.
not?
Oh my god.
Um.
So so awesome.
All right, so that's red carpet culture. Let's talk about that. Is it you put it on your list, and I'm very curious why you put this on your list. But tell me about psychedelics.
Yeah, I love them. I think they're awesome. I think they're great. Psilocybin, ayahuasca, any plant-based medicine, not necessarily like an LSD. We're talking about in Grand Theft Auto. I don't know what the Twitch terms of service are, so just to make sure.
Yeah,
We're talking about in Grand Theft Auto, of course.
yeah,
But as far as the experience of it and as far as its efficacy for treating trauma, like the only reason it's not more normalized and it's becoming normalized is because pharmaceutical companies are fighting it because they're screwed.
yep,
Like there is no comparison to how a guided session of psilocybin with a proper shaman or guide helps helps heal certain traumas in hours instead of months or years.
yep. And
So
without
I
taking a
love it.
pill, you
No
take a one
pill,
time thing.
safe.
Yep.
No, there's no deaths from psilocybin or anything like that. Absolutely. I mean, it's so on the trauma front, that's one, and then just on the mind, extending your mind, extending your perception, and spirituality of it. There's an element of it too. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
just love them. I don't do them all the time because they're heavy for me
Yeah.
to do. So they're every once in a while, but yeah, it's I'm so happy with where the US is moving in terms of this stuff and how it's being adopted normally because it's just so powerful. And I'm really proud of our country for doing that. I really am.
Yeah, is Oregon one of them? That's
Oregon's one of them,
yeah,
Colorado, yep.
Colorado.
California, yep.
Mhm. All those
California.
western states, man. Come on, I just gotta
Yeah. They get some yeah, man. They get extreme on some stuff, but when it comes to that, it's like, yeah,
They
they're the
get it.
trailblazers, man.
Yep.
Good for them.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
get it. And it's funny because like in Missouri, you can smoke pot, but you can't have an abortion. But in Kansas, you can have an abortion, but you can't smoke pot.
I yeah,
Red
man, like
red states make no sense, like what they want to regulate and not regulate, because one of them is
yeah,
tax worthy and the other one
right.
is like, ruling over the human body. So
Yeah. I'm in Tennessee. I'm in the reddest one of the
yeah.
reddest states there are, and I come from the one of the bluest states there are. So it's like
Mhm.
there's certain things I love about the culture down here and the freedoms, and things that I'm just like scratching the back of my head, like, what? How could you have this freedom and not this freedom? How could you be so pro this and yeah?
Yep.
I I don't. Some things I don't feel. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't understand logically how the state like misaligns with itself and is inconsistent. And then some of the issues I just don't feel clarity about as far as I don't know what a government's role is, ethics versus morals, and I've heard so many different I feel like I'm so open to opinions and people's stories and can empathize that it's hard for me to be like this or not this.
Mhm.
But with psychedelics, I feel so clear, like so clear. It's like this get these pharmaceuticals out of here. You know, the majority of mass shooters are on some kind of psychotrope uh, psychiatric medication. The majority of like we have alcohol is legal, which half of murders and half of people being murdered are drunk or under the influence of alcohol. Like it just makes it's crazy to me.
Yeah. And we'll jump into alcohol in a minute because I know that's on your dislikes.
Yeah.
But as far as this, I mean, I find it very fascinating. Um, what there's this, and then like there's what, like Molly and all those things. Are
Mhm.
those considered in that family?
Yeah,
Because I know that they're in like
yeah.
they're also using things like I just know it as Molly. I don't know.
Molly, ecstasy, MDMA,
Right, MDMA.
even
There we go.
LSD. Yeah. No, though, I
MDMA.
mean, again, the efficacy of those is way better than like not psych. Is that what it is? Psychotropic medication? I don't know if I'm using the right term. Psychiatric medication, we can call it. Like the efficacy is through the roof as far as dealing with PTSD or complex post traumatic stress disorder.
Right.
It's just not even close. I like the plant medicines because you're less likely to get dosed. You're less likely to get, these other medications, LSD, MDMA, Molly, are synthesized.
Yeah.
The plant medicines, you can get sketchy people doing sketchy things to them, but for the most part, it's like you take psilocybin, it's mushrooms, and it smells like shit. So
Yep.
you know what it is. Ayahuasca, you can't really fake, you won't get the effects. Peyote, things like that. So, like, I like the plant medicine, it feels more natural to me. I'm very pro weed and THC just
Mhm.
because I've seen some miracles happen with things like seizures and things like Alzheimer's and and stress and anxiety management. And those things feel like they're from the earth. I think I also am just like a hippie at heart. So those are like my mind says, oh, they're from the earth. They're great.
Yeah.
Um, and like, look, psychiatric medication is based from a plant, but it just feels so processed to me. And there's so much evidence that shows like my personal journey with psychiatric medication was pretty shitty
Mhm.
over years and trying and getting off of it and trying and getting off of it, that I think I just have a bad taste in my mouth personally too.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I agree with every single thing you've said, by the way.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
I was just listening, but yeah, no, I completely agree with everything you just said. And I
Cool.
think that that it's something that we need to move towards,
Yeah.
and accept. So hopefully things will start moving in the direction before the world crashes, and then
Well, let me ask you this because this is something that I experienced. I was dating a girl who had a daughter, 7, 8 years old.
mhm.
And divorced, but the father of her daughter was from Brazil. And in Brazil, commonly they will, as a part of a religious ceremony, they were Catholic, they will give the children a little bit of ayahuasca. And when I first heard that, I freaked out. I was like, no, 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 that's crazy. That's dangerous. Because it sounded crazy to me. How do you feel about that? And I'm no pressure to agree with me because
No,
there's more to
no,
say.
it's when I
What's your like
first
first reaction
my first
to that?
reaction is this is a child whose brain is still forming.
Yeah.
So if its brain is still forming and it's not in its set ways, then you taking ayahuasca is going to change the way the child's brain is developing.
Hmm.
So the reason, I don't know why they would do that. Is there a reason that there's scientific reason that
Yeah.
it works, or what's the reason?
Well, but what's the feeling behind it? Do you are you because I felt very resistant, like I almost felt angry, like I need to go defend this kid and protect them.
Right. I mean, no, mine is just what's the science? That's my
Okay.
initial reaction is
That's
why.
awesome. Yeah. So you're curious. Yeah, you're a little more mature than I. So I looked into it, and it's really common among religious ceremonies that they'll use really small doses of psychedelics to help the kids like feel God or be in touch with the earth or and just to enrich the experience. And so they ended up doing it. So once I looked into it, I was like, I guess that makes sense. I just had a big fear response. I work with kids. I'm so used to being protective that
Right.
if I feel like somebody's messing with a kid, I'm like, eh. But they did it, and the girl came back and she was like, "It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life." This little 7-year-old.
Aww.
So it made sense to me as long as they're responsible and they're conscious, like you said, of their brain forming.
Right.
It was a thing they did as a community, as a family, and they prayed, and she felt like she was more attuned with God and the universe. And I thought that was really powerful, really cool. But that really opened up my eyes, man.
Yeah. To what it can do and how it can affect
Yeah.
all sorts of people.
I did not. I grew up in a very anti-drinking, anti-drug family. Like my mom never drank, definitely never did a drug. My dad rarely, had a glass of wine. So that stuff's kind of foreign to me.
Yeah, that's not foreign in my family at all.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'll
Not my
just
extended
leave it
family.
there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Well, didn't
yeah.
become foreign to me in my 20s.
Mhm. Yeah. I think I like the fact that you're not under these certain constraints of like psychologist talk where you can't
Mhm.
like somebody would judge you for being like psychedelics in Grand Theft Auto. You know, the somebody would judge you for that and say you're a professional, why aren't you doing this? But to me, I'm like, no, like you're a professional, like you should be looking into these things. Like there's this.
Well, yeah, but the only people who can actually legally guide a psychedelic trip now for PTSD is a licensed counselor.
Yeah.
So actually, they licensed counselor in hosting psychedelic trips.
Wow.
So they are professional. They're licensed. The only people they'll allow are licensed people right now.
That's good.
Yeah, so
That's
they
good.
are professional
All right,
and they're
cool.
pro psychedelic. Like Jesse, Farm Fresh Jesse.
Yeah,
Yeah, her mother is a licensed therapist who is certified in psilocybin treatment.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
trying to get Jesse to do it, but I don't think she'll do it. And videotape it. I want to see you opening invisible doors.
Okay, so blah blah blah, this, that, the other thing. We've done that. Tell me about backpacking.
Yeah, it's like traipsing through the woods with everything you need on your back. It's awesome.
Did you go to a foreign country to do it? I know a lot of my friends
Yeah.
like backpack through Europe or.
Now, the backpacking I'm talking about is more just an escape in nature. So
Mhm.
like you go get lost in the woods or you go for a multi-day hike and you got your tent, you got your food, you got your water, or at least everything you need for survival, and you're just out for. I mean, a backpack as long as like 7 days, so you're just living. You bring your food and whatnot, but there's something to just having your house and your clothes, everything just on your back,
Mhm.
And I love it. Yeah, it's just such a good reset. It's also very raw. So like the process itself has a lot of suck to it. Like obviously you've got, 40-pound bag on, you're hiking through the woods. Um, but it's something about just reconnecting with the simplicity and reconnecting with nature
Yeah.
and just realizing you get down to this the foundational physiological needs and you just have such little things that and then when you get back, that first shower, man, there's no describing it. After 5 days of sweat and grime and grit and sleeping in the rain, and it's just yeah, that first shower is, like, incredible, and that first lay down in the bed after the shower is just like
So I know that
yeah.
exact feeling, just in a different situation.
Yeah.
We do something called dagger here, out here, which is it's foam fighting swords and shields and everything, but they have a base to them, so it's not like just floppy noodles. They've
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
they've got like PVC core and stuff, and
Nice.
there's swords, there's shields, there's arrows, there's all sorts of things. Anyway, point. So the we have these big events once or twice a year down at this guy's private property, and the events can hold anywhere from 150 to 300 people. And so we all go out to this property that basically has porter potties. That's it. That's all you got. There's no water, there's no nothing. We
Yeah.
just supply the porter potties.
Damn.
And you get grimy. I mean, you are living off nature. You are whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's tent is in the woods so that it's not to disturb the Renaissance look that we're going for in the front. Um, but even Galvos can tell you that first shower when you get back and you're just like, oh my God, my hair smells like campfire. Like there's probably bugs in it. I
Yeah.
need to
Oh, yeah.
shower so bad.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
totally.
So we have our big
That sounds
events.
awesome. That
Dagger
sounds
here
so cool.
or the camping?
The dagger what's it called? Dagger year?
Dagger here. DAGORHIR.
Sounds awesome.
Dagger here. And it's funny because this picture is actually from our field. Um, so this is actually the field that we practice on. But this is a guy with a spear that he made. This is you could wear actual armor if you want, or leather armor. This is the foam swords that you would have with the shields. The shields usually have some sort of plywood behind them. And yeah, they'll dress up in usually Renaissance gear or an elf, whatever they want to dress up as. So yeah, this is all his self-made stuff. A lot of leather workers, a lot of blacksmiths in this industry. So yeah, anyway, we have these big 150, 200 people events, and we get
So awesome.
yeah.
So awesome. I want in.
Yeah, there's probably
I
some
want
by
in.
you. I'm telling you, they're if you want
We get Lair. We get like the live action
the
stuff
LARPs.
and LARPs.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Live
Yep.
action role playing? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. This says unlike other battle games, there is no use of magic, and that's how I try to explain it to everybody. It's like it's not like
So
lightning bolt. You know what I mean? It's like actual combat you have to be good at.
well,
Um,
we have HEMA too. So HEMA is
yeah,
you've heard of that?
yep.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I have like clients involved in that religiously who've spend thousands on their
It's
garb
so
and their training.
expensive.
It's so awesome though.
Yeah,
We have medieval MMA fights every second Wednesday of the month downtown. So it's a HEMA based organization that does a mixed martial arts fight where they are all dressed up in real armor trying to knock each other out with
that's
they're not sharp swords, but they dull the edges so you can smack each other with it and stuff. It's so awesome.
yeah. The SCA is there's HEMA, there's the SCA, very expensive sports.
Mm.
I mean, just so expensive. You have to get like the SCA. You have to get no, none of this. No, not a computer virus. It is an organization. It is the Society of Creative Arts, I think. Society of Creative Armored Combat. There you go. So they have to dress up like this.
Oh,
Total armor. I mean, all of this is all metal
yeah.
and leather. The sport
Got it.
itself costs over, like, you'll probably spend over $1,000, maybe more, on.
Oh, easy. Oh my God. Yeah.
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 And
Oh
there's,
yeah.
but it's cool. You go to one of those events. There's blacksmiths. You can get shields and not shields. I'm sorry, uh, daggers and all that other stuff. Um, but yeah, back to you.
Really?
So
That's cool. I
just
love that.
had to do that because it's segueing into the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, the UFC's Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's just like it's mixed martial arts. It's like something to watch, man. I mean, it's so I mean, the company's worth billions and billions of dollars now. It's so popular now that like
Total equity 7 billion, net income 387 million, and
yeah, I mean,
revenue 1.3 billion.
if you know like Conor McGregor, if you ever hear that, he's probably the most famous mixed martial artist. It's just a promotion, and I like it because training Krav, I can. It's entertaining, it's fun, and I can kind of tell what they're doing,
Right.
which is fun for me. But it's just entertainment. Yeah,
Here we
I
go.
don't.
This is what I was looking for.
Well, that's old school. So they fight in a cage, not a ring.
Okay.
But that probably is old. It's mixed martial arts. So they have a set of rules like you can't, no headbutting, no biting, no scratching. But it's meant to take like martial arts, like the sport of it, and mix it all together. So you can submit your opponent, they can quit, you can knock them out, or after 5 rounds or 3 rounds, they'll go. They have a couple judges that will let you know who won, and
Interesting.
it's a sport. I mean, it's harsh, man. Like people are getting knocked out and stuff, but it's not as dark as I think people think it used to be,
Yeah.
where it's just like fighting and yeah, like cockfight, human cockfighting. I think they called it a while ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
yeah,
But this is the cage, right?
yeah. That's the octagon. They call it the octagon. Yeah,
Octagon, yeah.
'cause it's 8 sides. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Joe Rogan culture, and his podcast is linked to that quite a
Mm-hmm.
bit. And mixed martial arts is like booming now, so I think a lot of kids get into martial arts because they've seen the UFC or they have a favorite star. You've probably heard of Ronda Rousey, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Just
her right
yeah,
there.
yeah. So those are some of the popular people, but I think overall I think it's a positive thing, and I just like watch it sometimes for entertainment. But I like it.
Do you think it's something that kids should watch?
Um,
That's always my big question when people ask about football too.
I mean, it's a good question. I would say the majority. Man, it just depends on the kid, and actually more depends on the family and the culture and how it's presented to them, and the
Yeah.
level of maturity it's presented to them too. Because I find organized sports can be like anything else. It could be problematic or it could be really healthy. So like if somebody's watching basketball and they're screaming at the TV and they're living vicariously
Mm-hmm.
through that, it's no good for anybody. But if somebody's watching basketball and they have a dream to play in the NBA and they work hard and you know it's a source of inspiration, I think that's great. With the violence of UFC, I don't like when fighters bring their young kids like 7 and under there, because those kids, I know how trauma works, I know how the brain works. Those kids are watching their father get hit, and
Right.
that just has leaves a stamp on the nervous system.
Yeah.
So it depends on the culture. If they're around it a lot and it's normalized for them, I think they see their father okay enough to offset that, or see their family, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like, if like an American, because it's not ingrained in American culture at all. If
Yeah.
it's not ingrained in their culture and they bring them, I think it's just trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, again, I'll bring back the football thing when people scream at the freaking TV as if they have some
Man,
power to change that. And then kids are screaming at the TV. And then I watched as the Super Bowl happened and I saw like these videos of when, I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl, but
nope.
yeah, the very end, and I'm talking within 0 seconds in the overtime, Chiefs won by a touchdown.
Yeah,
It was huge. There's videos of people who are 49ers fans that
yeah,
smashed their televisions.
dude. Like,
They were
yeah,
so
man.
angry. Like, they didn't even think about it. And I'm like, that's what's wrong. That people are
Well,
like, oh, kids are watching Travis Kelce get mad at the coach. I'm like, kids are watching you yell at the TV. Like
100%. I couldn't agree or put more exclamation points or emphasize or highlight more what you said. Like, dude, I'm screaming at the TV if I'm watching UFC, but I'm not angry. I'm having a ball.
Right.
I'm like, come on, God. Like, I'm smiling. I'm having a good time because it's all taken with a grain of salt because I'm not in the cage,
Right.
man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep,
So, like, it's entertainment, and I have that. I think as long as it has that veil and it's not just shocking to the kids, then yeah, it can be done all right with guidance. But dude, it's like, yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Immature adults, man. Immature adults.
I think we'll go ahead and end on. Let's talk about. Is this really okay? We're gonna end on this because I'm curious. Seamless the Wanderer. And
Okay, well, okay, no, that see, I wrote that down because that's a band, that's a song with a really great halftime beat drop.
Okay, Seamless
It's
is
like a
the
metal
band.
song. Seamless is the band, yeah.
Okay.
Seamless is. I don't think you'll find them.
Oh, they're
Seamless.
here.
No, they're like a local band from Boston that I was friends with some of them.
Yep, years active 2002
Oh,
to
that's so yeah,
2009.
oh, Pete's my little buddy, Pete Cortez. Dude, I haven't thought about that guy in like 15 years. That's so funny.
From Killswitch Engage? Oh shit.
Well, Jesse from Killswitch Engage was, yeah, he was the singer of Seamless. Put out, I think, maybe one album, but one of their songs was so awesome, and it just has the dopest like halftime
beat drop.
And yeah, I mean, it's like, but you know, when it could be like heavy metal or rock music, or it could be like, you know, at a rave, just halftime beat drops, man. Well, the halftime is yeah. But then the halftime,
boom, boom, yeah.
No. Halftime is
oh, okay.
Halftime, yeah. Like regular time is like that boom, ba, boom, ba, but the halftime is the boom, ka.
Oh, okay.
The same tempo, but the downbeat
down.
is cut in half. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's heavy. I don't know why. It's just I don't know. I don't know why I thought that was awesome. This is what came to my mind.
No,
this is total free association.
Yeah. I like it. I like that you put all this this together here. We have 3 minutes. I want to make sure we get everything. Let's talk about cheese.
Just love cheese, man. I mean, just melted cheese, regular cheese. It's like cheese. I don't like Swiss cheese. I don't love brie.
You don't love brie?
No, I don't love it. I like it. I'll eat it. I don't love it.
Okay. But yeah, I agree with you on Swiss.
Havarti. Yep.
Oh, Havarti. What about Munster?
I like Munster. It's a little salty. I like it maybe on a sandwich. I used to have Munster cheese and fluff sandwiches at my father's house. I don't know why. It's weird. Sweet and salty, I guess. I was a kid. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you either. That was a shocker for me. That really threw me back for a minute.
It was weird to me too, thinking about it. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is going
on. But like, I love this, a platter with good. Okay, so.
Yeah.
So
I'm in.
Oh, this is also good. Baby Bells.
Baby Bells are great. Creamy cheese. Cheese, like a nice Gouda.
Have something called Alouette by you? It's a cheese and like chive cheese dip.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. We used to eat it with bagel chips. Yep.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
I've stopped buying it because now it's like $8, but yeah, inflation.
That doesn't last one sitting with me. That doesn't last the day.
I make it last like 3 sittings. I really try hard to leave it. That's my my one thing that's good about myself is that I look at things and say what can be left over. Right?
Nice.
So portion size, portion size, I go cuz Galvos can't do this. He doesn't have this thing in his head, and I'll be like, if you stop now, we'll have dinner tomorrow. And he's like, oh, okay. And then we wrap it up and we put it away. But like, if it's Chinese food, like he'll usually try to house the whole thing all at once. And I'm like, leave it for tomorrow. We paid a lot for this Chinese food. Give it
Yeah.
a 2-day thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Good. Hey, good for you. And my girl's amazing at that. And that makes one of us because there is no portion. It's how much is there.
Right. I'm not that bad. No, you're not that bad, but I mean, because you agree with me when you're like, "Oh yeah, I agree that could be held over." Unless you were like, "Oh, I'm going to eat this whole thing regardless of what you were saying." Then you'd be that bad.
I am I can be a bit of a glutton, and by can be, it's probably the worst with food. So there it
There
is.
there it
Haven't
is.
eaten since 8:30 a.m. this morning.
Oh my
So I've
god.
been fasting about 12 and a half hours,
Okay.
which is good. I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel I have a ton of energy, but I'm hungry
Yeah.
and angry.
Especially
I'm not
all
really
of
angry.
this, you're hangry. I get it.
I'm actually not angry, but I know that if I can go one of two ways right now. It's either going to be a mess or it's going to be very calm and clean. Probably going to be a mess. I'm into it.
the difference between like a spoonful and just like gorging on the food.
Oh, dude. How much is there? I'll have all of it.
All right, cool. So we've reached the 2-hour mark. Is there anything on your list that
Nice.
you feel like you really wanted to talk about that we didn't get to talk about, or anything additional that you wanted to add?
No, I mean, we covered most of it. We didn't cover a bunch of the stuff I don't like, but I'm actually that's fine.
Yeah.
No, I feel good about it, man. I feel like this was a lot of fun. I didn't expect to. I don't know how this comes off. I didn't expect to have such a good time. To be honest with you, this was. I thought it was gonna be fun, but it was even more fun,
I'm glad
which
you
is
heard
awesome.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I upload these things on YouTube, so you should be able to
Cool.
get the link tonight, and then you'll be able to have it tomorrow because it takes a while to upload.
Yeah, that's like
Um,
forever.
oh my god, it's so annoying. But it's like we want to be HD, and I'm like, all right, maybe that's fine. Um, okay, so let's look real quick. We're probably gonna go over to Mary Amber. She's a musician, but she's a funny musician. I highly
Nice.
suggest her if you've not been there before. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and set up that raid. She has a song about cat buttholes, and it's so funny. It's like a cat in your face, and all he wants to do is show you his butthole. So it's just
It's relatable.
yeah,
It's real
exactly. She plays every instrument right now. She's playing banjo, I think.
Uh,
So
it's hilarious.
anyway, this is the really crappy raid call that I made. Yeah, Chris, thanks for sticking around. Thanks. Oh my God, you're not gonna let me copy you, are you? Come on. There we go. Thank you so much, Jim, for sticking around and hanging out and talking.
Yeah, I gotta pee real bad. Gotta pee so bad.
All right. Well, next week we
It's
have
a perfect
Abbers
time.
on, so we're gonna go and have a good one. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.